Last week, I shared with you the most common mistakes made by women in the bedroom, as reported by men in my sex therapy sessions. And this week, we're going to look at men and their most common mistakes in the bedroom. So please listen up, gentlemen, because each one of these mistakes holds a key that you can use to become a better lover. My name is Helena Lista and I am your favorite sexologist online, and this is the place where I answer all of your questions about sex. Number 1, not asking for what you want in sex. This should be no surprise to you at this stage that everybody is different. We are all different when it comes to our needs, wants, desires, our preferences in the bedroom. So we absolutely need to be able to open our mouths and communicate them. Ask for what you want your partner, your woman to do to you in bed. A lot of people lack very basic sexual education when it comes to what our bodies like and how they want to be stroked and caressed and and touched, etc. Besides, there's a really good chance that your woman actually really wants to please you in bed, that she really wants to give you the kind of pleasure and stimulation that you want. But if you haven't told her what it is that you actually want, then there's no way for her to actually be a great lover to you. Second of all, not asking us what we want and need in bed with you, and instead trying to mind read or guess how you should be touching us. There are many problems with trying to assume or guess what your partner wants in the bedroom, and men tend to assume that her body would want and desire the kind of touch that he himself would like. So this is where a lot of women come to me telling that he is too rough with her, that he goes straight to the genitals, that he's rubbing her genitals way too roughly, way too aggressively, that he's way too forceful with her breasts, etc. Another mistake men make here is trying to assume that what she wanted last time would be the same thing that she wants now, or even worse, what his previous partner liked and wanted in the bedroom, his next partner would want the same thing. Gentlemen, that's actually rarely the case, so don't try to be a mind reader and instead communicate. Not staying the course when she's feeling good. That is such a big one. I hear that so often. When you see her moaning in pleasure and being just really aroused and feeling amazing, what men tend to do is intensify the stimulation and go harder and faster and keep going even stronger than before. Well, that usually ruins it for her. Her neural network, the way that her nerve endings are located in her genital area, is different than yours. For that reason, the harder and faster and intensified kind of touch doesn't always work. What you were doing there was working, so stay the course. Keep going at exactly same pace, same place, same intensity, unless she asks for a change, obviously. But don't change anything, stay the course. You're doing great, she's feeling arousal, she's feeling pleasure. At this point, the best recipe for her orgasm is for you to keep going exactly as you have been. Not all men, but a huge majority of men tend to shorten the foreplay and not give her enough build-up and stimulation that she needs before moving on to penetration. Whereas the truth is that she needs you to kiss her, to caress her. She needs you to spend that time with her, touching her body, her entire body, in order to get ready for intercourse, in order to get aroused, wet and juicy for you to slide into her leisurely. And as a part of both foreplay and then intercourse and penetration, you've got to remember that her clitoris really needs a lot of touch. In the way that you like your penis to be touched, in the same way we want, like and desire our clitorises to be stimulated. Having you inside of us and penetrating us and stimulating our vagina doesn't quite produce the same sensations as the clitoris does for us. So make sure to give her a lot of foreplay and her clitoris a lot of stimulation. And by the way, if you'd like to learn the most amazing, powerful, mind-blowing, earth-shattering ways to stroke, stimulate and touch her clit, you should check out my online course, How to Pleasure Her. It is currently on special, so until Sunday you can get it at a discounted price. So make sure to check out the link and the discount code in the description bar below. Men tend to think that good sex is just about orgasm. In many cases, it almost seems to feel like everything else, all the kissing, touching and stimulating and stroking each other, is just so that the orgasm can happen. So there's that goal that creates this focus for him when it comes to lovemaking, which means that things can become problematic if she doesn't come, or if she doesn't actually necessarily want to or need to come. On the other hand, the man can feel like he's come, so things are over, or that if she didn't come, that means that the whole experience was bad for her. Gentlemen, not every sexual encounter needs to include an orgasm, yours or hers. It's okay to not orgasm. It's okay to just focus fully on each moment, on each stroke, each caress, each kiss, on your bodies touching each other and rubbing against each other, on your genitals meeting in that beautiful, erotic, sexy dance. And if you try to ignore all of that because orgasm, then you're missing out on a lot. Coming too fast. That is a nightmare of many, many men out there. And many women as well. If you're too quick, if you climax quite early in the sexual encounter that you're sharing, that doesn't give her enough time to build up enough of her pleasure, arousal, and sexual and erotic charge in her body so that she can reach sexual satisfaction, whether that includes orgasm or not. This is why being able to slow down and control your body and your breath and your arousal consciously is so important for a good sex life together. Pushing her head down, as in encouraging her to give you oral stimulation. I don't even know where to start with this one. This is such a disrespectful thing. No woman should ever be in a situation where she is required or pushed, physically pushed into, or emotionally, or in any kind of way, pushed into giving her partner oral stimulation or any other kind of stimulation. Consent is crucial, gentlemen. She can do it because she chooses to, because she wants to, because she wants to satisfy you and give you pleasure, not because she's pushed and forced to do that. Trying on her things that you've seen in porn, particularly without discussing it previously with her and without her consent. If you've been watching my videos for a while and following this channel for a while, you should know by now that porn isn't the truth. That porn style sex is very different than real sex in an actual bedroom. Porn is entertainment, sex is real life. Two very different, very distinctive, very separate things. No, she doesn't necessarily desire to have sex with you and another woman in a threesome. No, she doesn't necessarily want you to ejaculate on her face. No, you should not be skipping foreplay, and you definitely shouldn't be skipping lube. Another huge issue, huge problem, and a huge mistake that a lot of men do, and I particularly see it in the comment section under many of my videos, is thinking that good sex comes naturally. Assuming that since we love each other and we want to be together, hence our sex life naturally should be amazing. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not as simple and it doesn't work like that. It absolutely helps for a good sex life to have a good emotional connection first. Yes, it does help. But you also need a lot of other things to keep co-creating that good, satisfying sex life together. You both need good sexual education. You both need to learn about what good sex actually is about. You need to communicate about your needs, wants, and desires and preferences with each other, and you need to do it often. And you definitely need to be both committed to working together to create that sex life of your dreams. And mistake number 10, disconnecting from her during sex. Whether you're thinking about your performance, your erection, or lasting as long as you want, or about something completely different for that matter, she will feel that disconnect from you and she will be able to tell that you're not really actually there with her. She absolutely needs to feel close to you. She needs to feel connected and intimate with you on that emotional level, energetic level, as well as the physical level. Lack of good emotional connection is simply a turn-off for a huge majority of women. And I promise you that you will benefit and your sexual satisfaction will benefit as well when you feel really connected to her during sex. And if you're not sure how to create that kind of closeness and bond and emotional tenderness between the two of you when you are in bed together, then you will love learning from my online course, How to Pleasure Her. This program is the most comprehensive approach to pleasuring a woman well, and you will learn absolutely everything from it that you need to know in order to be a fantastic lover. So grab the link and the discount code from the description bar below, and I look forward to seeing you there.